alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Dominic Lawton can be wild. Welcome to the Bad Movie Cult.
Hello, welcome to the Bad Movie Cult podcast. My name is Dominic Lawton, and with me is Ken B. Wild.
Hello there.
Today we're doing a very special episode. It's an episode that we don't really want to do.
Yeah, we didn't want to do this ever, but
It's unfortunately the news of the passing of the Chief, Carl Weathers. And so today we're going to do a sort of retrospective look back at his career, talk about some of the films that he's done, and just have a little chat about him.
yeah, the captain.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I was I was out, and then I got a call off Ken. I mean, me and Ken don't really call each other, even though we speak to each other for 3 hours every other week on a podcast.
Yeah,
We don't really call, so I was wondering what that was about, and then he basically called me to tell me that Carl Weathers had passed away, and it's kind of funny because obviously we'd never met the man, but the outpouring from people that know us and friends of the podcast was quite something, wasn't it, Ken? I think even you yourself were blown away by it.
Yeah, we've got quite a few people offering their condolences to us as well, like like close family members. Yeah, I really did appreciate that, actually. I say it's a bit odd, but at the same time, it was really nice. It was a sad time, but it was nice to see people actually caring. And I think if you have a look, it's probably one of the most unifying things that has ever happened to Twitter, to be honest. I've never seen so many people just agree on something, and it's just been unfortunate that this is what's provoked that sort of like community spirit to everything. And it is a massive shame. My son actually broke the news to me. He was with me. He was on his phone, and he said, "Oh, I've got some news, and you're not going to like it." And I said, "Has someone died?" He says, "Yeah." And I was like, "It's not Carl Weathers." And he was like, "Yeah." And that's and that's how I found out.
Yeah. I didn't even realise he was in ill health or anything like that.
No,
I don't think...
Me neither. We'd only a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? We did his birthday episode. We celebrated his birthday with the classic Hulk Hogan film. And
As you do.
And then suddenly this. So no, I wasn't aware of it either, and I'm not certain if it was well-known public knowledge at all. But no, I don't think anyone seems to have been expecting it from what we've been reading and hearing through social media and the news. But yeah, sad state of affairs.
So yeah, we're going to crack into the episode. We're going to do a little sort of rundown of his filmography, I guess, little chat and stuff, and celebrate the life of the Chief, the Captain, the Sheriff, the main man, Mr. Carl Weathers. So I think, one of the main questions we get asked on the podcast is, why do we keep including Carl Weathers? Which is fair enough.
Do you know, I knew we were going to mention that as well, and I wish we had such a really, really good answer.
Reason.
Yeah, where we actually had any reason whatsoever. But we don't. There's no reason. No reason at all. We could have picked anyone. We didn't have to pick anyone at all. But it literally could have been anybody at all.
Yeah, there's been times where I've spoke about the podcast and I mention, and then I just tack on, and Carl Weathers is in every film pitch, and he's pretty much in every episode. And I get the question of why, and I just say, why not? To be honest.
Yeah. I've always mentioned Carl Weathers in these films. I don't know why.
Yeah. I think the long and short of it was that even before me and Ken, because I think we've said it before, and it's not us being flippant or whatever, but if we didn't do this podcast, we would just be at a pub doing the podcast, but without microphones. Like what you're hearing like me and Ken do is what we were doing years before. We'd watch a film, and if we'd both seen it, we'd do what we do now. We just sort of, you know, not
Laugh
take the
about it.
piss out of it. Yeah, we just laugh about it. Yeah.
Just laugh about how ridiculous parts were, some of the characters, some of the dialogue, and action scenes. And yeah, we do what we do. Except now we record it.
Yeah, exactly. And it got to the point where we were like the film pitches at the end of the episodes. We would just do that. We'd have a few beers and we'd just pitch films to each other just to make each other laugh, basically. And in every single film pitch, we would just cast Carl Weathers as the police chief. And I don't think that wasn't a thing that we said to each other that we should do that. We just started doing it without even like saying to each other, "Let's do that."
Yeah, been doing that for years.
I actually don't even know how that even started in itself, but it just happened. It's one of those things. And Carl Weathers was always the police chief.
I'm almost sure that Carl Weathers has never even played the chief.
I don't think he has either. That's the funny thing as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's ever actually risen to that level of the police. He's always just a tough detective, isn't he? Or sergeant or something like that. But he's don't think he's ever been the captain.
Yeah, you can't have a picture of your own prostate on your desk and expect to be police chief. But yeah, it was sort of honestly, it was one of those just sort of things that naturally just made us laugh to each other when we would introduce Carl Weathers into our film pitches as the police chief. And we just carried that. And actually, when we even started the podcast, we weren't like, let's do a podcast about bad films or do a film pitch and Carl Weathers will always be in the pitch. That wasn't a thing that we said either, was it?
No.
It's just a natural thing that came over to the podcast and we just stuck with it.
And rightly so.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, we got our own niche without even realizing that we had a very Carl Weathers centric podcast.
That's the power of the man, you see.
Yeah, Carl Weathers has been in everything from erotic thrillers to Leatherface versus a shark. He's been in all of them.
He has. And in one, Groundhog Day was very recently as well. The day after, in fact, his passing. But in our episode of that, we actually did a Carl Weathers Day pitch, where every day was Carl Weathers Day. Well, yes, I did. Yes, sorry.
Have a listen back. I'm not kidding you, listeners. It's one of the worst film pitches we've ever done. Synonymous with Ken's pitches. He's got a theme, and that's about it.
It's the same as Groundhog Day, mate. It's just that's where I get my ideas. You see, it's the films we've just watched.
The Bill Murray film Groundhog Day. That's where Ken gets all of his ideas from. Yeah, so that's basically the story. That's not even a story, really, is it?
It's a story. It's definitely not a reason.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't really answered the question.
Yeah,
but there we go, and that's why Carl Weathers is unofficially the third host of this podcast, whether he liked it or not.
Yeah, and we did wonder what we do from here, whether we retire the chief. But no, of course not.
No, I refuse.
Of course not. We will continue casting Carl Weathers in each film pitch, and he will continue to be the chief. He's always the chief.
Absolutely, it's 2024 now.
Yeah, bottom line, Carl Weathers is the captain.
I saw Peter Cushing in a film not long ago. New film. CGI Peter Cushing, so we can get Carl Weathers back.
Carl Weathers has been CGI Carl Weathers as well in a different pitch.
He has as well, yeah, you're right.
Yes, so you see, we were ahead of the game. Obviously not hoping it would ever happen, of course, but we've already done it. And now we can continue.
And if one of us perishes, there'll be CGI Kenby Wilde or Dom Lawton for this podcast.
Yeah, it'd probably be better than the real thing.
So I guess like when you're talking about Carl Weathers, I think the first thing you've got to speak about really is Rocky, right?
Yeah, Unless you're just going to go on his moustache, but we'll go Rocky because it includes it.
Well, let's talk about his moustache. Let's do a podcast just about that.
I've seen some pictures of other stuff he's been in recently. Pictures recently of stuff he was in years ago, and somebody did comment. I thought Carl Weathers was born with a moustache because there's a picture of him without one, and there's a picture of him without a moustache. I just think, yeah, that does look a bit odd, doesn't it?
Is it? Who took that? Was it you?
He's done a few things. Son's moustache.
Rumours are there's a picture of you without a beard as well somewhere.
Yeah, he took that one. we were shaving each other.
Not again. What have I told you about doing that?
It was one of our parties.
You and Carl Weathers are always shaving each other. That was the issue. That was the main issue that got in the way of this podcast at one
I remember the scandal.
Just the paparazzi outside taking pictures of you shaving each other.
Yeah, it was intrusive to say the least. As was the paparazzi.
The shaving, or I was going to say, the paparazzi. Yeah, it was title of one of your films, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
It was intrusive to say the least. Very British pornography, that one.
Crikey was the tagline.
So, sorry, back on track. What were you saying? Moustache, what?
No. I was just mentioning it. Yeah.
So for people that haven't seen Rocky, Ken, what the fuck's that about?
Yeah, the new release Rocky.
Yeah, that new film from 1976.
Yeah. Well, it's about a down on his luck boxer, isn't it?
Yeah.
He gets a shot at the champ. And of course,
who is?
The champ is Apollo Creed, a.k.a. Captain Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to give a chump a shot, doesn't he? Because he's sick of everybody saying that he's just been like picking his opponents, hand picking them. No one's as good as him and everything. So what's the point? He's just fighting, also runs and everything. So he just picks somebody, gives someone else a chance.
And that was sort of Stallone's big break, wasn't it? Like he said that he wrote it and he had to play the lead, which is one of the reasons it never got made. I think they liked the script, but they didn't want him to be the star.
Yeah. They wanted the script off him, but they wanted to cast somebody else. Do
you know who the main man they wanted to cast for it was?
No.
Will Smith.
Will Smith, of course, went on to play the legendary Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Wiki Wild Wild West.
Wiki Ali Muhammad Ali. Oh no, that's not it, is it?
I think that's it.
Yeah, Will Smith, of course it was. Yeah,
and we say it all the time. A film is only as good as its villain, and Carl Weathers, not really a villain in it. I think we spoke about it in Shadow Warriors that he's not really ever played like a true villain, and in this he's not really a villain, but I guess he is the bad guy in it, sort of. And what an absolutely amazing turn he has in this film.
Yeah, I mean the whole franchise. I think the first time I think I watched a Carl Weathers film that I can remember, and it was probably Rocky IV.
Yeah,
and the irony of that, of course, is that he passes away in that as well. But
what an entrance he has in that, though.
Oh,
for the
living
fight
in America. Yeah,
yeah.
But
yeah.
See, I think that was the first time I ever saw Carl Weathers, because it was, what was that, 86 was it, or something? And I think
so. Yeah,
that was like I was just old enough to watch. I didn't start from the first one because it was back VHS days back then. But Rocky IV, that was everywhere, and watching that, I just thought, this is amazing. But at the same time, didn't know the story, didn't know his character arc, didn't know any of that. All I thought was he was Rocky's friend, and I was really upset, really upset by that as well. The Rocky IV.
I guess if you want to bottle his character down to just one sentence, Rocky's friend might be the one. Yeah,
that was the first one. That was the retrospect that we've got now, Dom. Obviously, he was like one of, if not the second highest actor, isn't he? On this, he's the main character, other than Rocky. More so than Adrian, isn't it? More so than Paulie, I would say.
I think he is in the credits as Rocky's friend. Just having a look now, just to confirm it.
Look, I was a kid, okay? I was a kid. Plus, this is like, what, fucking 30 years ago. I'm not telling you that was the exact thoughts I had when I was sat and watched Rocky 4. I didn't write it all down back then, Dom. I've not got notes from when I was fucking 8, 9 years old.
Well, I mean, that's why this podcast will never be big, because you've never taken it seriously.
A fucking half-assed approach to it all.
Yeah, as if I've been making notes since I was 8. I've read them back. Make no fucking sense. Useless.
Just pictures of cocks on yours.
Yeah, pictures of cops.
The chief. There he is.
I've got some taglines for you, Ken, from Rocky. I don't know if you've ever heard them, but I wanted to read them out to you.
Go on.
See if you like them or not. You ready?
Yeah.
His whole life was 1,000,000 to 1 shot.
Nice. Yeah, I quite like that one.
A true hero goes all the way.
Oh, dear. That's a tagline of one of mine.
His whole life has been 1,000,000 to 1 shot. Now, Rocky Balboa is about to show the world that he's 1 in 1,000,000.
No.
Don't like that one?
No, too long.
A Philadelphia fighter who never made the big time. He showed he could take on a challenge and won something bigger than a championship.
It's too much. Too much. What have any of these got to do with bloody Apollo Creed, anyway?
Okay, I've got one for you.
Go for it.
He's a has-been battler with one dream left and one last chance.
Yeah, I don't mind that one. That sounds a bit more like a Bruce Springsteen lyric, to be honest.
Meet the Italian stallion, a small-time guy with big-time guts, who yearns to be a hero just once. I don't know, there's an exclamation mark at the end.
It should have ended after guts, but the guts should have been the word dreams.
Small-time guy with big-time dreams.
Yeah.
And one more for you. You have a ringside seat for the bloodiest bicentennial in history.
What?
That's the last tagline.
The bicentennial, was that the part of the film?
That's Robin Williams as a robot.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. That was the robot in Rocky 4.
That was it, yeah, the one that Paulie has sex with.
Yeah, sex robot.
I think, to be honest with you, I actually think the first thing I saw Carl Weathers in was Rocky 4 as well. Now, having to think about it, I think it was Rocky 4. Why is everyone's first Rocky that they remember Rocky 4?
It's the most bombastic of all of them, isn't it? Plus, you've got Carl Weathers dancing to "Living in America" by James Brown. You remember anything? You remember in that? Yeah. You've got what else was it? My son. We went to watch Rocky 4 at the cinema when Stallone did his re-edit of it with the director's cut version and got rid of the sex robot. He and we went to watch it because we were watching the franchise, and we got up to Rocky 3, and then we went, oh, Rocky 4 is going to be at the cinema. So we went to watch that, and he'd never seen any of them, and he's not seen any since, to be honest. But we went and we watched it, and I was just like, oh, you're going to love this. And there's like a question and answer before it with Stallone on the screen. Obviously, he didn't show up to every cinema before every showing. But what? And there was like a little sort of like behind the scenes of the reboot of the director's cut, sorry. And he just says, is there anything that you would have liked to have done that you didn't manage to do within the Rocky franchise? And he said, the only wish I had was that we didn't kill Apollo. My son hadn't seen this. He's not seen this film. And we just looked at each other, and I was like,
I also wish that Bruce Willis wasn't a ghost in The Sixth Sense. He's just ruining every film, just in one Q&A.
Yeah, he just said that, and I thought, oh, well, that's the surprise that I was waiting for. Yeah, spoiled before the film's even started. It was like, oh, okay. You know, it was nice of him though. He said he wished he hadn't done it, but it's a bit late now, isn't it?
Moving on from Rocky, he did like quite a bit of TV. I think he started, wasn't he like an athlete? Wasn't he a professional footballer?
He was a footballer, football player for the Oakland Raiders.
Nice.
Yep, means nothing to me and you, of course, but there'll be people out there now going, yeah, Raiders!
Woo! Not soccer, by the way. Actual
me,
American rugby.
That's it, yeah.
I think I saw a post from Gina Carano because like a lot of people have come out with very nice messages, and she had one as well, and that's how her and Carl Weathers bonded. Was they were athletes turned to actors.
Very good. I mean, I've not seen anybody say anything negative about him ever. So they're not going to do it now, obviously, but not ever though, really. I mean, it's one of those where you just the measure of somebody is how people talk about him, and everyone's just saying how great he was, what a nice guy he was, and he does come across on the screen because he's not. You say he's never really played a villain, and he hasn't, because the Rocky arc that he was on was an amazing piece of work from like where he started as to where he ended up, and all the way in between. I mean, the fact that Rocky 2 never even had to happen, he instigated that whole second rematch. The rematch was him wanting to prove, because he'd won the first film. There's spoilers there for the 1976 film. Rocky doesn't actually win. But
bloody hell, we didn't even have to watch the Q&A with Stallone to get a spoiler there.
but he's not happy the way he won it, so he wants another match.
I do like that as well in the first one, that Rocky actually doesn't win the fight.
Yeah, because my dad joke, he always used to say to me, he just like, oh, watch Rocky. He said, oh yeah, does he win? And I thought, it'd be funny if he always did, but he doesn't. So, you know, I don't think he'd ever seen Rocky. So, joke's on him. Ha ha, Dad. He won't listen to it, don't worry. That's me grounded.
1979, Rocky 2. Were you a fan of Rocky 2?
Yeah, again, it's like Apollo Creed. He's the man. You get some like great lines, great dialogue from Apollo. He's just like frantic, isn't he? He's about everything. You get Rocky, who's just sort of couldn't be frantic about anything if he was electrocuted.
Barely awake.
Yeah, yeah. His eyes are falling out. It's how awake and alive he looks. But yeah, no, and then Rocky 3 becomes Rocky's friend, as he's known after that. But he trains him. He trains him as well and everything, doesn't he? That's where you get the iconic running on the beach, wearing little tiny short shorts and a little crop top vest.
Yeah, and like frolicking in the waves.
Yes, jumping and hugging and all of that business. It's amazing.
That's actually how me and Ken, we used to train for this podcast in the early days.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually like looking at his filmography. Lots of TV stuff until Rocky, sort of up to Rocky 3. The only thing he really does is TV, to be fair. Got Semi-Tough, where he plays Dreamer Tatum.
That's a great character name, isn't it?
Yeah. He's in Force 10 from Navarone, where he plays Weaver.
Yeah, you see, he's in some films that you don't even know he's in until like you look through them.
Yeah, he's in the Serpico TV series, where he plays Snake.
Didn't even know they'd done one of those things.
He's Lieutenant Gifford in Switch. So, yeah, just lots of TV stuff. The $6 Million Man, he was in an episode of that. He played Bad Sam in the TV show Kung Fu.
See, now that sounds like he could have been a villain.
No, I think he was in charge of a speakeasy. Filled with
right, does a musical number.
Yeah, I think so. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. He was military police in that. Have a look out for him.
Not the chief, obviously.
No, not
yet.
At
that age. Not at that young age.
Not at that age. No. Yeah, Rocky 3, Mr. T. That was the Mr. T one, 1982.
Damn, man, what the hell are you doing? This guy will knock you on your ass. Come on, Rock, it's not a game. You want to live in the hospital for 5 weeks this time? You thought I was tough? This jump will kill you. All right. Come on. Get your head on your shoulders, man. Think about the fight. Clubber Lang's in here. He's trying to hurt you, Rock. He's trying to hurt you. Okay, here he comes. Jab. He's jabbing. He's trying to hurt you. You gotta fight him. You gotta move.
Nothing in it. Taking the beating. He's up against the rope. Can't get out of the corner.
He's hooking. Damn, Rock, come on. What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
Are you a big fan of that film?
Rocky 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Rocky 3 is probably my second favourite after Rocky 4.
I think I'd agree with you on that. My favourite's definitely 4. But yeah, 3 with Mr. T. He says, "I pity the fool." That's from that film, isn't it?
He only says it the once. I don't know how it became his catchphrase, but he only says it the once, Mr. T. And that's when he's asked, why do you hate him? He says, I don't hate Balboa. I pity the fool. And that's all over. It's done. He doesn't say it again. And that's how quickly that catchphrase was hit.
I do like that he offers to have sex with Adrian, and whilst there's a big brawl going on, all you can hear in an overdub is Mr. T keep saying the word fool just over and over again, which I quite like in that film. He's in Rocky 4. That's 1985.
He's in a film called Death Hunt with Charles Bronson and Lee Marvin as well.
He plays Sundog in that.
Yeah, which is, again, great name. And that's impressive co-starring in there as well. He's been in some films with some great action and legends, hasn't he?
And then 1987, of course, Predator.
Yes.
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
Yes, got the most amazing handshake the world has ever seen to this day.
A lot of people posted that actually when he passed away. A lot of people posted that one scene, and it's just ridiculous, isn't it? When you watch it just on its own, like he just spots him. Carl Weathers is just at a table in the back, and Schwarzenegger spots him, calls him a son of a bitch, and have a handshake, and the world explodes.
Yes, it is a cataclysmic handshake, isn't it? We get a superb close up on biceps. Double bicep close up.
And it's just like, I love the fact that it's just like maybe a second too long to be like watching the biceps, and then it cuts back and it's just fine.
I don't think it is. I could watch that for the next hour.
And they're just like oiled up in that one shot and then cut back and they're totally fine.
Yeah, it's because he's been pushing too many pencils, hasn't he?
That's the problem.
Yeah. It's the CIA for you.
I think at one point we'll probably do a deep dive of probably most of these, to be probably all the Rocky films at some point, and probably Predator as well. But now that I'm thinking about it, Predator might have been the first thing I saw Carl Weathers in. It was either that or Rocky 4.
No, I think mine was Rocky 4, and then Predator was a quick maybe second one I saw him in.
You weren't allowed to watch sort of violence, were you, as a kid? So you probably didn't see that until you were 30, 40 years old.
Yeah, until I was big enough to know the difference between real violence and shooting at an invisible alien in the forest.
With Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
Vagina jokes.
Spitting. Yeah, I was definitely not allowed to listen to vagina jokes.
Vagina Jokes was actually one of Ken's co-stars in quite a number of his films.
Yeah. Very funny guy.
Who was a man?
I think he was Italian.
My first name is Vagina.
Mr. Jokes, please call me Vagina. Anyway, the year after Predator, using a lot of the same cast and his contacts that he'd made during making Predator, was, of course, the legendary Action
Vagina
Jackson.
Jokes. Oh, yeah. Yes, Action Jackson.
Action Jackson. What a film that is.
Yeah, and we actually said that he came up with the name of that film whilst on the Predator set. Someone said Action Jackson to him, and he's like, right, I'm going to make a film based solely on that name.
Yeah, I think he'd already got the idea, hadn't he, that he wanted to do it, and then he just rounded it all off. I think he spoke to somebody about it, and I can't remember who it was now. I do apologise.
I think it was like an Australian
techie he was the guy that said he'd be involved, didn't he? He said, I'll be in it like Action Jackson.
Yeah, it's like, I'm on it like Action Jackson or something like that. And this is the first time we've done an episode on, so have a look back. You'll find the whole episode where we discuss the whole film.
Yeah, very good.
What a film that is!
A lot of fun.
Easily could have been a franchise.
Should have been. Yeah, it's one of those that you get people watching it now, and you just think, how would they never make more of these? He's got great character. He's got great villains. He's just like everything about it. It just screams cop franchise films, but somehow never went to be. Never. Big shame. Big shame.
He even had the Pointer Sisters doing the theme tune for that as well. He turned me out.
Yeah.
And the video is Carl Weathers playing pool.
Yeah. every music video should just have been that.
I think if you're a band and every single one of your music videos was just Carl Weathers playing pool, that's brilliant.
Oh, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't even matter which one was on then, would it?
No.
You've got it on in the pub in the background. It's just like the sound's down. It wouldn't matter.
If I owned a pool hall, it'd just be Carl. On all the screens, it'd just be Carl Weathers playing pool.
Just on a loop, yeah.
Yeah.
To different songs.
Yeah, but you got the football, mate. No, it's just Carl Weathers.
He said, not yet, mate. No, I've got Carl Weathers for another 6 hours, and then we'll put it on.
I mean, Action Jackson was brilliant, to be fair. I think that's a sort of an overlooked action film as well. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
It's got Sharon Stone in it.
It's good fun. Yeah. Craig T. Nelson. He's got big Bill Duke.
And his prostate.
And his prostate problems. After that, what did he do after that? After that, 1988, where do we go from there?
1992, Hurricane Smith.
Yes, now there he is, sans moustache, confusing a whole nation. So no wonder that just vanished, because nobody knew it was him.
Yeah, Billy Hurricane Smith.
Yeah. He does look a bit odd in that one, just without the moustache. I mean, I've never actually seen Hurricane Smith. I'm trying to get hold of that. I'm trying to get to watch Hurricane Smith.
I think for his birthday, that was the episode we were going to do, wasn't it? But we couldn't find the film. We couldn't get hold of the film.
Yep. So we had to do a Hulk Hogan.
So we had to do Shadow Warriors.
A worthy substitute, maybe not, but it's all we had. Damn it, Chief! It's all we had.
And then the next one I've got isn't until 1996 after that.
He did a few. He did like as TV shows. You mentioned Street Justice, which I have started watching, and it's incredible. It's got 40-odd episodes of this series, from 91 to 93, I think it was. And
is that where he plays Adam Boudreau?
He does indeed, yes.
Is Van Damme in it?
Preempted the Van Damme Boudreau. Yeah, I don't know who's more realistic as a Boudreau, to be honest. But the first 2 episodes of the Street Justice is a double bill as well. That's like basically a film, a self-contained film.
Is that a character in it? Double bill.
Yes.
It's twins.
There you go. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I like the thought that Chance Boudreau is his brother.
Yeah, that'd be good, though, wouldn't it?
I'd watch it.
In the first couple of minutes, Carl Weathers is having a shootout in the street and then jumps on the back of a train. Well, actually, the very first scene is Carl Weathers without a moustache speaking Spanish. How about that for an opening to a cop action thriller? Just a close up. He's sat in his car learning Spanish. A guy comes out of a hotel, tries to get a taxi, and Carl Weathers runs at him with a gun. Big shootout in the street. He escapes down into the subway, does a little bit of jumps on the train at the last minute. Carl Weathers has to jump on the back.
I like the sound of it. We might have to cover it.
It's a great opening, honestly, and that's like the first 5 minutes of a TV show. It's brilliant.
Speaking Spanish, runs at a man with a gun and gets on a train.
Yeah. They don't make him like that anymore, I tell you.
I'm just literally looking at just the names of his characters in these. He's had some great names.
He has indeed. And then
Colonel Brewster.
We're going to actually get to that 1996 one, and he's called Chubbs.
Chubbs Peterson.
Yes, and of course it's Happy Gilmore.
Back in 1965, Sports Illustrated said I was going to be the next Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, what happened?
They wouldn't let me play on the Pro Tour anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because you're black?
Hell no. Damn alligator bit my hand off.
Oh, my God!
Yeah, tournament down in Florida. I hooked my ball in the rough down by the lake. Damn alligator just popped up. Cut me down in my prime. He got me. But I tore one of that bastard's eyes out, though. Look at that.
You're pretty sick, Chubbs.
This is back when Adam Sandler was funny. You remember that? Remember
What,
that
when
time?
he first started, you mean? When he thought he kind of had to be, otherwise he wouldn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I watched Happy Gilmore on an aeroplane. I don't know who Adam Sandler was. I'd never seen him in anything, obviously. I think it might have been his big breakthrough one. So he'd never been multinational. And then suddenly he's there, angry. Is it ice hockey, wasn't he? Ice hockey wannabe turned golf player. And he enlists the help of the chief.
Yeah, he's great in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, sings a song in that as well. It's absolutely phenomenal.
He does, yeah. He's playing the piano.
Carpenters, yeah, sings the Carpenters. He appears as a ghost in that one as well, in the sky.
Yeah.
Yep, lovely.
Got his hand, yeah.
Yeah,
his hand back.
He
He actually gets killed because he opens up a present and it's the head of the alligator that took his hand and he falls out of a window. I like, to be fair, one of my favourite bits of that is when he goes to the funeral and his wooden hands, and he just starts doing like a handshake with the wooden hand, which I thought was really funny.
Then obviously, as you mentioned, he goes on to Shadow Warriors, follows that up with Shadow Warriors 2.
Hunt for the Death Merchant.
Yes, we've got it. We'll get there. We'll get to that one, don't you worry.
For the Death Merchant.
The worst kind of merchant.
Oh, no.
Yeah, where he plays probably one of the worst character names he's ever had, Roy.
Roy Brown.
Roy Brown, yeah, it's not that good, is it?
No.
He turns up again, though, in Little Nicky.
Yeah,
he's
the
back
same
as
character.
Chubbs. Yeah, back as Chubbs.
Yeah, he's a dance instructor.
Of course he is.
He's the best dance instructor in heaven. Which he probably is right now, to be honest.
I'd imagine he is, and he's got one of the best moustaches up there, no doubt about it.
Him and Burt Reynolds, yeah.
Incidentally, you mentioned Burt Reynolds, the last tweet that Carl Weathers actually had, he made a tweet on the day of his death, if it's actually him doing his own tweets, I can only assume it is. He was arguing with somebody about how to spell Burt in Burt Reynolds' name.
Oh, really?
Imagine being that person who's argued with Carl Weathers about how to spell Burt Reynolds, and that's the last thing he was doing publicly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just saying it's B-E-R-T, actually, the Carl Weathers.
But it isn't, though, is it?
No, he said, do you not think with all of the money and the effort gone to publicise this film, Burt Reynolds would have noticed his name was wrong?
For all these years.
Yeah, and that was what he said. And he finished it, as always, with B Peace.
That reminds me of Auntie Donna with Ed Helms, where his name's actually Egg Helms.
Yeah.
It's just been wrong this whole time.
Yeah, but there you go. That was the last tweet he made, was that. And I just thought, how odd. But, it's how I want to go out as well, arguing about Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, me
on
too.
Twitter with somebody I've never known.
Kind of sums up Twitter in a nutshell, doesn't it, that?
Yeah, it does. I'm going to argue about this with Carl Weathers. Anyway, what else is he in? He's in a film called The Sasquatch Gang.
Excuse me?
Carl Weathers.
Is he?
He is, The Sasquatch Gang from 2006.
Good God, what a great name he's got in it.
His name is Dr. Artemus Snodgrass. I'd love it if he had. I really hope that he's got some sort of say in his character names.
I hope so. In Mercenaries Playground of Destruction, it's a video game, he plays Colonel Samuel Garrett.
Nice.
The Sasquatch Gang, we might have to cover that.
Yeah, it looks like
that looks fucking terrible.
Yeah. He was in The Shield, of course. The Shield with
Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and Carl Weathers.
The Shield was actually one of the best cop thriller series ever made, man. Amazing series. I used to love watching The Shield. He's in a film that looks fucking terrible called American Warships with Mario Van Peebles. And then we get to Arrested Development.
Yeah, he's
he
phenomenal
plays
in that.
Carl Weathers.
He's brilliant. Have you seen Arrested Development with him?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, he's great.
Oh, God damn. Yeah, just talking about he gives acting coaches acting lessons, doesn't he, to Tobias?
Yeah,
and he's just constantly talking about like food,
saving money, isn't
he? Yeah, saving money.
Apparently,
making a stew.
Apparently, that was his suggestion for his character, was that he was just going to play a like money pinching version of himself, always trying to save cash.
Really, is that true?
Apparently,
or did you just make that up, you fucking liar?
Apparently, no. It was his idea to play himself like that, watching the pennies. Yeah.
Tobias had recently hired actor Carl Weathers as a drama coach.
Do you see me more as the respected dramatic actor or more of the beloved comic actor?
Whoa. There's still plenty of meat on that bone. Now you take this home, throw it in a pot, add some broth, a potato. Baby, you got a stew going.
Yes, that's fine, but I would like to focus on my acting, Mr. Weathers. I did give you my last $1,100.
I'll tell you a little story about acting. I was doing the Showtime movie, Hot Ice, with Ann Archer. Never once touched my per diem. I go to craft service, get some raw veggies, bacon, cup of soup. Baby, I had a stew going.
Did a lot of sort of TV shows like recently, hasn't he? Like looking at him, he's Colony, Chicago Fire.
He covered the whole of Chicago, didn't he? He was in Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago Justice.
Yeah, all playing Mark.
Couldn't get enough of it. Yeah, couldn't get enough of Chicago, could he, back then?
Have you seen Explosion Jones? Seen his name in that?
His name, Duke Firestorm.
Oh, that's like one of ours, isn't it? That's
brilliant. That's a Red Brown name, isn't it? That
it is, yeah. He's in Magnum PI. The apparently there's a new series of that.
Yeah. Sorry, Chief. I never watched it.
He did the voice of Combat Carl in Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen it.
Toy Story 4, I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you like, fucking hell, Carl Weathers, or did you not realise?
I don't know. I don't know if I did realise.
Yeah.
Until obviously the end. Or maybe I looked it up whilst I was watching it, because that's what you do, isn't it, when you're watching these animations. You just think, oh, who's that? Who's that voice?
Yeah. And then, I mean... Go on.
Yep, no, I was just about to bring us up to present day.
Yeah, and I think this is like... Didn't he get, like, awards? Like some...
He's been nominated for stuff for this, yeah, Best Supporting or Best Guest Actor and stuff.
Yeah, he's in The Mandalorian, the Star Wars TV show. To be honest with you, I think I watched sort of the first 2 series of this. I think there's been a few since. And so I did see Carl Weathers. And him being in this sort of priced us out of ever hoping to get him doing like a little voice thing for the podcast or anything like that. He hit the big time again, didn't he?
Yeah. It's an up and down journey, but he's back at the top. I think he's gone out right at the top, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. Like everyone loves this show. It's 8.7 on IMDb, so it's probably one of the highest rated things he's ever done, to be honest. He plays Grief Karga.
Again, what a name.
Yeah.
And I think if you're going to look at who's had the best character names throughout their career, it's got to be Carl Weathers. Has got to be up there. I'm going to say he's possibly even beaten Steven Seagal for ridiculous names.
Steven Seagal just keeps repeating the same name, doesn't he? It's like Jake or...
Well, he does now, but back in the day. You don't just discount Forrest Taft. Nobody can do that. Anyway, it's not about him. No, we did actually look at, I say we, it was Homicide Worldwide podcast who looked into the opportunity for us to get Carl Weathers to have recorded a message advertising our podcast. And they said it would be something within the area of $10,000 for him to do a voiceover bit for us. And,
which in real money is about £10,000.
It's about £20. Yeah, but unfortunately priced us out of that.
Yeah,
imagine that. Imagine if he'd ever done the cameo and we just got him to do a cameo for us. That would have been something that I think we would have definitely had a look at.
We're just going to have to get in touch with Richard Dreyfuss now, aren't we?
Well, Big Scott, obviously. I think he'd probably mates rates. He'd cut the price for us.
I think so.
Yeah, as soon as he's a big friend of the show. But but yeah, so we did actually look into it. We do have a photograph as well that was mocked up by Homicide Worldwide of Captain Carl Weathers in a Bad Movie Cult T-shirt, which I do post that quite often. It's
it's
obviously
great. Yeah, it's
obviously
really good.
it's not meant in a derogatory sense at all, nor is it meant to suggest that he does actually even
endorse the podcast,
endorse or in any way be aware of what we're doing. But it's a great picture, and I will continue to use it. So if you're not happy about that, then just get on with it. Got other things to worry about, like how Burt Reynolds spells his name. So yeah, sort your priorities out.
Yeah.
But that's. I mean, it is a brief overview of what he's done. Obviously, he's done a lot more. He's done a lot of. He did directing as well. He's director. He's a producer as well as an actor. Does work for charities. He's done so much. And as I say, looking at how everybody reacted to the news of his passing, it's amazing, really, that just everybody has fond memories. Nothing else. There's no stories of a bad encounter, a bad meeting with him or anything like that. It's always he was a happy, easy to talk to guy, same as he is on the screen.
Easy to talk to on the screen, yeah. I've often seen Ken just chatting to Carl Weathers on his screen.
Well, I know the script.
When I walk past your house,
I know the script, so I'm just joining in.
Yeah,
and practicing.
And we've given him shit. We've given him shit on this episode, but Adam Sandler posted a really nice message on Twitter about Carl Weathers. Sly Stallone posted a lovely video as well.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger said some nice stuff. Bill Duke said some nice stuff as well.
Nicest prostate he's ever seen, Bill Duke said.
Yeah, he don't know who he's going to get to look at his now. That's left a hole. Yeah, don't know who's going to fill that.
Oh, poor Bill Duke.
Yeah, it was a nice message, though. It's everybody that's worked with him. Everybody that's worked with him and everyone who's got any stories to say have all said what a nice guy he was. And I agree. Without having met him, I can't imagine him being anything but he is on the screen. So, yeah, apologies for the way this turned out towards the end. But,
yeah, I mean, to us, as you say, director, producer, actor, to us, he'll always be the chief.
He is, yeah. As I said, but always the chief, forever our hero.
Yeah,
and he is. We're not going to replace Carl Weathers in the world or on this show. Definitely not, because we're going to keep it going, and we're going to keep him going, and we're going to keep bringing back Carl Weathers every episode. So he's always there for everybody, and God bless Carl Weathers.
Yeah. R.I.P. Carl Weathers, the chief.
Be peace, chief. Be peace.
We've only just begun to live. White lace and promises, a kiss for luck, and we're